Hey everybody, this is Tony, and I'm here today with a special guest, the talented and just amazing Mr. Freddie B. How are you doing today?
I am doing well, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
No problem, no problem. Now, of course, you're a singer. You've been all over the world at this point, singing songs, blues and jazz songs.
Yes, yes.
But before we go into that, I just want to, see or ask how you're doing and how has the pandemic affected you as an artist, and what that time was like so far.
Okay, so the pandemic was a tragedy in my overall thinking
Hmm.
because it stifled so many people and hurt so many people. People died so many.
Yes.
So what we did was, since we had to be locked up in quarantine, um, we took that time to use for original material to
Okay.
develop. So I partnered with Tom Schumann of Spiral Gyra,
Hmm.
the keyboardist for Spiral. He lives here in Las Vegas as well. And we put together a couple of projects that I'm extremely proud of. Um, and hopefully we can get us a Grammy nomination for this work. We put that kind of time into it.
All right.
It's not thrown together. And we're both very proud of it. So that being said, we use the downtime to do something productive. In
Hmm.
other words, it was a blessing. So I never would have took the time out of the schedule to make these kinds of things happen. And I guess
Yes,
God
yes.
knew that and he usually smacked me upside my head. So
There you go.
got my attention. You need to be
N-
doing this. So
That's right.
that's what
That's
happened.
right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people needed it though. Unfortunately, like you said, we had losses and things like that, of course. But
Sure.
even for myself, I know during the first few months, I finally found the time to start back doing a whole bunch of stuff, and
There you
including the
go.
interviews. So I think I did more in that first year of the pandemic than I had done in probably the last
See?
three.
See?
So
It was either that or twiddle your thumbs.
that's right. That's right.
Let's be productive. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
that's not to say I didn't twiddle my thumbs. It's just I stopped
that's
twiddling my
right.
thumbs. It
We
got
all
to.
had to scram and figure out what we were going to do because it was too much
That's
time
right.
passing by. So
That's right.
I understand. I understand. But I want to talk about some music, of course.
Hmm.
I was listening to your songs earlier from the website, Just Say You'll Be Mine and the
Ah,
others, The Way You Look
yeah.
Tonight. I love all of those tracks, matter of
Thank
fact.
you.
So,
Thank you so
and
much.
I'm
Appreciate
glad
that.
to have an artist like you on here, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Just because we don't have a whole lot of well, I'll take that back. We do have a lot of jazz singers, but you don't always get to see jazz singers
Right.
and things like that up front. I'll put it like that.
Right. Right.
I did an interview with like Frida Payne a few months ago, and I noticed she's starting back to do jazz songs again,
Yeah.
which is her roots. And
Absolutely.
Will
Yeah.
Downing I had on here a few months ago as well, who of course
Okay.
does that.
Yeah.
But you don't always see jazz as a forefront genre a lot of times, unfortunately. So
Unfortunately. Yeah.
it's glad
So our
I'm glad to
goal,
see.
I think, collectively is to try to resurrect that.
Yes,
Um, because without jazz, without blues, there's no jazz.
that's
Without
right.
jazz, there's no hip hop. So you know, it's been a necessity,
Mm-hmm.
but taken for granted for so long that people were using it and not even understanding its origins.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can be a part of the crowd that helps resurrect the genre as a whole. I
Yes.
take a lot of pride in that. So
Yes.
I'm
Well,
happy about
I
that.
want to tell you, so far you've been doing a good job, and just
Thank
keep
you.
up whatever you're doing because um it's very rare that you get an artist and you can hear that the artist is taking time to hone their craft and do what
Yes,
they need to
yes,
do, you know? Like
yes, yes.
everybody now is really just trying to throw something out, and
Yeah,
it's like,
get it out there.
yeah, it's like where is the time and the effort that you actually
Yeah,
put into this for people to
the
feel like, you know
feeling.
what?
Where's the passion?
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
can tell that you actually do that with your work. So
Yes.
that says a lot about who you are as an artist and as a person overall.
Thank you
So
so much.
thank you for just doing that because everybody isn't doing that now. It's like
My pleasure. Yes.
where
Yeah.
is the sincerity and just wanting to do,
Right.
good music. That's my
Right.
whole
Right.
thing. But
Right.
we
So,
used to
but
have
but don't let's not get confused with it. I'd like to have a check too.
Yeah, of course.
The hip hoppers, man, they get big, huge checks. I'd like to find out what some of that feels like at some point.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
and during the Grammys, at least the part that they televise,
Hmm.
I don't see us any recognition to jazz and blues as an art form.
Yeah.
Hip hop is dominated, and I ain't mad about that. But it would be nice to be included into the music makers
Right.
category. If that, I'm creating a new category. I don't even know if that is a category, but it would be nice to be recognized for our efforts because
Yeah.
jazz
Yeah.
is going to live.
That's
It
right.
is. If
That's
we
right.
tried repeatedly to bury it, it just won't go anywhere. So,
Yes.
yeah. And they're teaching jazz in the major universities.
That's right.
The other gentleman that recorded the last album, Paul Jackson Jr. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Not a lot of people are because he's a behind the scenes guy. But
Okay.
in fact, he is the most recorded guitarist in the world. And yeah, he was the guitar player for Jay Leno when Jay was on TV, had his band on, and so many others. Patti LaBelle, Luther wouldn't leave Los Angeles without him. So I mean, Michael, he's on the Thriller album. He's done an awful lot of Grammy-ish work,
Hmm.
and it was a blessing. I can't tell you how much of a blessing. I can't make you understand how much of a blessing it was to have him agree and chip in
That's
to
right.
help make this come to fruition. I mean, he's a wonderful person, and I'm thankful to him and his family.
Yes, yes. But I'm glad you mentioned him as well as as far as what you're saying about the Grammys.
Mhm.
And let me just say this. This is the reason why I do these interviews a lot of time.
Sure.
It's just to give people their credit, whereas doing to introduce people to new audiences sometimes. If you go and look at some of my other interviews, it's people I feel like haven't got the recognition that they probably should have got.
Well, then my hat's off to you, sir.
Yes. So
You're to be commended for that. Yes,
yes,
absolutely. That's
that
a
is
wonderful
my
thing.
ultimate goal, because like I always say, all music is connected.
Sure.
And people don't understand that until you hear a sample later on from the 60s or the 70s or
And
whatever,
here comes James Brown.
That's right. That's right.
I'm here.
That's right.
So
Yes,
yes.
people don't understand. Like even I was just telling somebody this on one of the other interviews. Lil Wayne had a song, matter of fact, in Lollipop. That sampled the Supremes track. So, and a lot of people don't even realize that.
Right.
So
It's before so many people's time because that's dated music, they say.
yeah,
But it is what it is. And I think even these artists of today recognize that there has to be a foundation.
there
It has
you
to come
go.
from somewhere.
There you go.
It's more than just a sharp beat, because you can listen to beats and they get repetitious. You got to put something on that beat to make it pop. So,
Yes.
and drum machines, come on, goes right through me. So
yeah. But I think they're realizing more than ever that that is where it's at, because I'm starting to see it trickle in more and more and more.
It's sneaking in.
Yes, it's crazy how that happens, and a lot of times you'll have a lot of people say, "Oh, that's old, that's this, that's that," but
right.
Ultimately, that's what makes you a record, because somebody is listening saying, I know that from somewhere. I remember that sound. I know that bass line.
Yes,
that kind of thing.
Nothing under the sun is new. Nothing.
Yes.
Especially
even
music.
With Beyonce, with the Shy Lights, with
Sure.
she used their sample, and they said they got paid, so thank God for that. And even she used Betty Wright, matter of fact.
That's right. Clean up woman.
Yeah. So it all that kind of stuff. And you start to think about that, like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. Hold on. There's something in this song I know. So they know that's where it's at. That's why they started to do that.
Yeah.
But
and they're now beginning to openly admit it, and that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
That's a real good feeling.
Of course.
But before I go any further, I got somebody I need to thank for arranging this. It's Miss Mabel Buckner Payton. and she's the
Yes.
president and the founding member of the Dream Awards, which takes place here in Las
Yes.
Vegas on an annual basis. And she's also the owner of the Harrison Entertainment Group,
Mm-hmm.
which was started with her and her husband, who has since gone on, rest his soul, James Fashion Plate Payton.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in Las Vegas, and he was the first African American allowed to have the job title as entertainment director. Uh, that speaks leaps and bounds
That's
to
right.
his credentials, and there have been none since.
Hmm.
So he got in, did his work, and that's it. They shut the door on us from that point on.
Yeah.
They did real good work too, and so they brought me to Chicago a couple of times, and I had the occasion to open a blues show for the late great Mr. Otis Clay, and
Mm-hmm.
man, that was a highlight in my career. So I need
Yes.
to
Yes.
thank Miss Mabel for that. And
Yes.
she arranged me to talk with you, so she's
Yes.
still busy out there, and thank you for that.
Yes. Yes. Shout out to Mabel for that. Thank you so much.
Yes.
But I want to talk more about your career as well. So just explain, or if you could, where your love for jazz and blues music came from, and what were some of the artists that inspired you while you were coming up?
That's too easy. My grandmother was an opera singer, and some of her friends was Leontine Price and Marian Anderson. Mahalia Jackson lived down the street.
Wow.
And they used to get in the kitchen and create what they call 7-Up cakes.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little bitty tyke running around the house, and they just bust out singing. And this is my early influence. I look out the back door, and the neighbors are actually perching on the stairs, very quiet so they don't miss a note. And I thought these sounds came out of everybody's grandmother's kitchen. So I took it for granted. I didn't know. So I got to give her credit. Emma Miner, I got to give Emma credit for that. And being raised on the south side of Chicago, we had blues clubs up and down a street that has since been renamed from 47th Street to Tobacco Road after Brother Lou Rawls. And then 43rd Street is Muddy Waters Boulevard.
Yes.
So I hung out as a kid, sticking my head in those clubs where I had no business. They saw me, but they didn't kick me out. They wouldn't let me drink any beer, but they let me listen to the music. So those were my earliest influences. When I was 10 years old, I'm gonna be real quick. When I was 10 years old, my sister and her girlfriends wanted to go to what we called the Regal Theater, which is the Apollo in New York. Okay. And my mother said, you can go, but you got to take your little brother. So I was the tag along. So they leave me in the theater, and then they went off and do their thing. But they left me in the seat by myself, and I happened to lay eyes on these 5 guys at 10 years old called the Temptations. Oh, yes. And it changed my life. Man, I had to do that. I had to do that in any capacity. Yes. Okay, so I cut school one day because in those days, when they signed those acts, they played the entire week. Okay. So Carl Davis, I don't know if you know that name, in the barbershop movies, he's the old man that sits up and plays chess all day in the barbershop. Yes. He's one of those guys. Well, he let me in the back door of the Regal. He was also the MC for all of the big shows that came to town. Okay. And he let me in because he knew my sister and her girlfriend. Come on in here, boy. Ain't you supposed to be in school? I want to meet the Temptations. I want to meet the Temptations. And he took me upstairs to their dressing room and said, he want to meet you. Don't scare him. And he left me in there. He turned his back. I didn't know what to do. I was surrounded by the Temptations. So I just started singing one of their songs. And they came in and joined in with me, man. Wow. Ruined me. Messed me up for life. Messed me up for life. I'll never recover from that. It was the best experience ever. So that's my story. What a blessing, though, that you even have that chance to be able to sing a song to them. Yes.
So
Yes.
that's amazing in itself. I can
Yes.
tell you it's a million people wanting to do that, but could
Oh man. Yes. And when I told the story, nobody believed me.
Of
Oh, you
course,
ain't
of
seen
course.
no Temptation. You ain't get out of here. You crazy. Oh, they wrote me off as a super nut. But I was like, okay, all right, whatever. I know I
Of
did
course.
it.
Yeah, they always do that because it's a part of them got jealous because they wanted to be there.
Instantly. Instantly. And I didn't make it no better. It was a man. I did it and you didn't.
Exactly. Well, you got the bragging right. So you had it.
Yes, yes.
You had
Yes.
it. So at what age did you actually start to sing professionally though?
I guess about 16.
Okay.
Because of my foundation and knowing these, I made it a point to know these artists as they came to town.
Yeah.
I was a nuisance, man. So I would end up learning and honing my skills after watching their live performances and practicing, and I didn't know I was practicing. I was just enjoying repeating what I just heard. I didn't know I was rehearsing. So professionally, I guess my first paid gig had to be an aunt of mine that came by the house and wanted to hear me sing "Don't Look Back" by the Temptations. I performed it and she gave me $3.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I could get paid for this?
That's right.
Uh-oh. So that opened up a whole nother can of worms. And the rest, man, is history. I've been trying in and out of various bands professionally, including the Gap Band, for years. In fact, they let me play keyboards on Oops Upside Your Head. So,
okay.
And yeah, and I met them quite by accident, but that's a whole nother story. So,
Okay.
we forged a relationship there for. Oh, and Prince, yeah, don't forget Prince. I
Yeah,
tried
you
out
can't
for
forget
Prince. Can't forget Prince. I tried out
that.
for Prince, and I just wasn't good enough. It was as simple as that. So, on keyboards, and he needed the keyboard player, and there were millions of them in Minnesota, but I don't know, he kind of gravitated to me after I met him in Chicago at one of his early tours. It was the what's the name of that tour? Some kind of minds. Anyway, his first album, and that's where I rubbed shoulders with him and just got in his ear like I'm getting in yours. And he was like, okay, let's try it. And I tried. Who? He liked your blues licks on the keyboard. He did like my blues licks. My wife is helping me with this. Oh yeah. So he did like my blues approach to different songs. So, and my blues approach came from the Kings.
Right. Of course.
We made out when we finally made it to Las Vegas permanently. One of the first persons we met was Little Milton's brother, who introduced me to Little Milton. And his wife took a liking to me and wanted to try and help me along with my career. She did all she could, but things were changing in the industry.
Yeah.
That was around the beginning of the change. So there was no place to fit me in comfortably at that point. So I had to play the waiting game. And while I was here, I joined a 4-man singing group, and we got lucky and performed in one of the major casinos. I think we had a 4 or 5 year run called Spectrum, and they're doing very well to this day without me. But it's okay.
Okay.
I'm going to survive. So, yes. Yeah, I'm a little cuckoo too, man. So.
No, that's good though. That's awesome that you have that spirit. People love it.
Yeah.
But when you started to create your own original material though, was it easy for you to jump in the groove of finding your own sound because you had been in
No, it was a huge struggle because I guess I had a low self-esteem musically.
Okay.
I got in a bad habit of comparing myself to the ones that I was influenced by.
Right.
Consequently, a lot of great stuff got kicked to the side because it didn't sound quite right based on what they were doing. I didn't know that at that time. It never dawned on me that my individualism would be what could carry me to the heights they already were.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time as a youngster at Chess Studios. I was about 8 years old, and that would be, I get out of school and run down to Chess Studios, and Etta James used to send me to the store to get her cigarettes, her Tarleton cigarettes. In those days, all you needed was a note and 35 cents, and you could get a. I don't think she even knew my name. She used to call me, "Where's that little old boy? Where's that little old boy?" And I would run to the store and get her a Tarleton cigarettes.
That's
So
right.
those are my influences and my original stuff. I didn't start believing in my original material until much later.
Okay.
I accidentally created this tune called St. Croix, and it morphed into Island Lady. And then I started to feel like, okay, there's room in this industry for people like me. Well, maybe not people like me, but for me, there's some room in this industry. And I started trying to dig my way through to find my way.
Okay.
I'm still in that process. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Your niche, you know. And if you get comfortable too quick, it could also end your, you know, people expect that and they won't accept anything.
That's right. That's right.
You know, the human mind is weird, and I'm still trying to learn because I'm one of the craziest people in the world.
But no, what you said is true. So many people don't understand that what you work so hard to get, you have to work so hard to maintain.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't understand it. They feel like once I got it, that's it. Yeah. But no, you have to work even harder now to keep it, because it's somebody right behind you ready to take that spot.
Ready to move you out the way, man.
Yes. Yeah.
They don't understand. Industry is wide open. So you know, you got to carve your niche and make sure nobody else throws dirt in your ditch. So
that's right. That's right.
You got to guard your ditch. So that's what I'm doing right now, hoping to get Grammy nominated for my efforts. If I could just get a nomination, that would be the icing on the cake. They don't have to give me the trophy. I heard you got to buy those anyway. So if they just nominate me for one, that would be so cool.
Yes. Well, you know what? Honestly, I'm going to say it. I'm going to speak it today that you hopefully get that nomination.
Oh man!
Because I see so many people. Sometimes when I look at that list, I'm just like, really, who even voted for this? So
right.
Hopefully, you definitely get that. I know a lot of people wish to even have half of what you got as far as a career. So congratulations on everything. But I want to talk about any projects that you have coming up as well, or music that you're working on as well, and if you have any release dates as well.
No, we just finished this year, The Way You Look Tonight.
Okay.
I think you have a copy of that.
Yeah.
And that features, like I said, Tom Schumann, myself, and the guitar player, Paul Jackson Jr. And we're hoping to push this to a point where I can afford to get back in the studio. That's an hourly rate, my man.
That's right.
You got to pay those musicians, and we refuse to use drum machines. So I need a real drummer that can really play, and it helps to have the names of these established artists on your projects. So it's an undertaking. So we won't be going back in probably until early next year.
Okay.
May I plug myself for a second?
Of course, go ahead.
Shows on August the 4th. I'm involved in a production show called The Cotton Club, and that's where we pay tribute, back to paying tribute to the founders and the pioneers of the jazz community. And we acknowledge even Billy Eckstine, Arthur Prysock, Johnny Hartman, Lou Rawls, any and everybody, Cab Calloway. Yeah, we got and Renee Davis does a tribute to Ella Fitzgerald, and Queen Aries is in the show, and she does a tribute to Sarah Vaughan, and Sammy Davis Jr. is in the show. And
oh wow,
it's a good production show, and we hope to take that to the actual Apollo really soon. So that's
Yeah.
the goal. So we're fixed on that. We're working very hard to achieve that goal. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
that sounds like a wonderful show, especially with all those artists that you guys are paying tribute to.
yes.
It's definitely needed though. 'Cause if we don't pay tribute to those who came before us, then who will, you know? So I'm glad
That's
you
the
guys are
sense.
doing
Yeah,
that.
you got to acknowledge these folks. They made
That's right.
major contributions
That's
to
right.
the American music library, and they got beat up so bad in those days. People would just steal the music, just take it from them,
Yep.
and no, you didn't have nothing to do with it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
hurtful. So we take pride in bringing recognition to those founding fathers and mothers of this jazz industry, and we take a lot of pride in that. I
Yeah.
won't
Yeah.
stop paying tribute until I covered everybody.
That's right. That's right. Well, you're doing the right thing.
Thank you, sir.
No problem at all. Go ahead. You have any other shows you have coming up?
I will be appearing at the Nevada Room July the 15th, 16th here in Las Vegas. And a shout out to my beautiful wife, Deasia,
That's right.
and she's also my personal manager. So if y'all want to contact me, you got to deal with her. And this is House Cat Productions Limited. And can I give the phone number?
Yeah, of course.
702-460-1081. That's 702-460-1081. House Cat Productions.
I love it. I love it. And just let people know where they can find you as far as like your website, give them the website, and then if you have social media
My
handles.
EPK, yeah. That's www.freddie number 4 jazz letter N blues at .info.
Okay.
So that will read Freddie B for jazz and blues.info. Okay. And all my contact information, all about me is on that particular set. Upcoming shows, my schedules. If you're interested in finding out more about me, that's how you can find it. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, dear.
Well, thank you so much, and thank your wife so much as well. And I hope people go and check out all the music that you have and coming up, as well as the shows. Please make sure you guys go and support and buy tickets if you're in the area. And this is none other than Mr. Freddie B himself.
Yes. Did I mention YouTube?
No. What's your YouTube?
Freddie B. Type in FREDDIE. No, that's not right.
Well, it's easier if they just go to my page.
YouTube, DEELLA Brunson, BRUNSON. Mm-hmm. And that's her page, and all of my material is on her page.
Okay.
Okay, I took care of that.
That'll work.
Thank you. I thank you so much for this opportunity to share.
No problem. I'll post a link under the video as well, so people can be able to just click on it and go to it as well.
Oh man, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem at all. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Freddie B himself. Please go and check him out, and thank you so much.
Thank you, and blessings on you and your family. And please stay safe. Please.